Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about wholesaling 101. What do you need to know to start the process?
Hey guys, welcome to The Buzz, Coffee and Real Estate. This is Wholesaling 101. We just wanted to give you guys a snapshot of walking through the entire wholesaling process. And we've got Nick Noble back in the studio, excited to hear. Nick, what does it look like? Okay, from the time you say hello, is that typically on a phone call or what?
Yeah.
Okay, so just kind of roll the whole step. What is it?
Yeah. How are you getting people? Where are they coming from?
Yeah. So typically, like I said, our pre-foreclosures, I'm going to call. I have a way of finding these people. Very, very precise way of finding these people.
He's not going to share his secrets.
I'm not sharing it. I won't share it. Not unless
Proprietary
you want to be a
formula.
partner, I'll share it with you then.
All right, gotcha.
But what we do is we'll call these people and say, hey, this is Danielle Noble. Is this still Josh's number? And they'll text back and be like, yeah, I don't recognize this number. And we simply say, hey, we saw we work with attorneys to stop foreclosures. We saw the house was at risk of going into foreclosure. Do you want to keep it?
Yeah.
And they say yes, or they say no. They say yes. We explain that they have options, and then we send them some of our material that allows them to go and either do it by themselves or get our help.
Oh, gotcha.
Totally free.
Wow.
If they say, no, I'm selling the house, we say, well, hey, I know an investor who's interested in buying in Elon. Would you be okay if I pass his number on to you? He'll look into it. He may be able to help you. Yeah, that's okay. Hey, we sent your number on to our Parker, and this is his number. He may give you a call if he's interested. We hope everything works out. That's it. Then my partner calls, who is totally different business, but we just partner together. He calls, he drills them to say, hey, what's going on? What's the scenario? How much do you want? He has that whole conversation. They come up with a number, okay? My partner then does his research to make sure that the number that buyer wants for that house
Seller wants.
the seller wants for that house is going to give us some type of margin when we turn around to find a cash buyer.
Gotcha.
Okay. And if we are successful, we will go back and we'll put that house under contract for say $50,000. And then we will use all kind of marketing platforms. So you can do for sale by owner. You can actually put it on the MLS with some of these like $99 subscription services. You can use Facebook Marketplace. You can use word of mouth. Maybe somebody at your local church is looking for a house. They're trying to invest. But you just want to get it out there. Get pictures of the house. After you've got it under contract, you want to give them 14 days to do your inspection period, or 30 days like I do. I do 30 days. And that gives you time to find a buyer without having to put up your own money. And that's what makes you a wholesaler, is that you're not putting up your own money, basically. So once you find a buyer, you're going to find a closing attorney near you that is wholesaler friendly. And they will orchestrate not a normal closing. They will orchestrate either a double closing or an assignment of contract.
Gotcha.
Very important that when you find an attorney, that attorney is familiar with wholesaling.
Yes. Let me add to that. So we ran into this experience one time before I called Nick. I'm like, this attorney says that they don't do double closes. And he's like, I've already talked to the attorney. I'd talked to like the front desk lady or whatever.
Paralegal. Yeah.
She's like, yeah, we don't do that. And then he called and talked to her, and she's like, yes, we do that. She doesn't know what she's talking about. So you want to make sure you talk to the attorney,
Yes.
not to their assistant.
Yeah, not the paralegal. Sometimes they don't know, and you don't blame them. You
That's
know,
right.
it's a very foreign territory. But if you find a attorney who does, who's wholesaler friendly or does wholesale contracts or signing contracts, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So what you do is you give them that contract that you have now with your seller, and you say, hey, I will be assigning this to the end buyer. And you give him also the assignment contract, or if it's a double close, he'll understand how to orchestrate it, right? You close with them, 10 minutes later, you close with the buyer, the end buyer. And that's really what the process is like. You find it, you orchestrate a good number, you find the end buyer, you find the attorney who's going to orchestrate the deal, and you get it done. And you make sure that there's enough money in there to cover any closing fees if you have them, or just enough money to make sure that once you sell it to the
So
end buyer,
what kind of closing fees are we talking about? Like what would come up in that?
I tell you what, the one we just closed here, this would have been last week or the week before, we had almost $5,000 in closing fees, and it's because we did a double close.
Oh, okay.
And the benefit of doing a double close instead of an assignment is that if you make a lot of money and you don't necessarily like want and our rule of thumb is if we make over 10K, we're going to do a double close because we don't want either the buyer to see, hey, these guys are making $10,000 or more by selling my house to somebody that they've worked really, really hard to find and to make sure they could negotiate with. They normally don't see that. They just see the number.
Yep.
I'm buying. You're getting it for 120. Why is it selling for
Why couldn't I just sell it directly to them?
Thank you.
Cut the middleman out.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them because I do the same thing, to be honest. And so what you do is you double close to protect yourself. And that's why it's very, very, very important to have an attorney who is wholesaler friendly and knows how to do that correctly to protect yourself.
So you're actually, when you're saying closing fees, we're talking attorney fees on 2 closings.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, and you could potentially have liens or all sorts of kind of funny business with the house itself. It may be attached to the property that you're purchasing.
Yep. Can I tell you this story?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe this will go into a crazy story segment. My wife and I got a house under contract for $5,000. What? $5,000. It was a nice house. It was a 3-1 in a decent area. The house didn't need that much work. It was just abandoned. So we go to get ready to close and we do a title search, and we find there's a $45,000 lien on the property. We got it locked up at $55,000. We thought we were about to make a load of money because again, the original seller had it locked up at $5,000.
Yeah.
And then we had somebody who wanted to buy it for $55,000. And then we found out there's a $45,000 lien on it. So instead of making $45,000, we ended up making 10. Yeah, that's the process in a nutshell. That's all you have to do. And again, let me say this, there's a few places where you could find people, right? This is number one, use Zillow. Search it every day. This is how my first deal came about. I was searching that thing all the time.
Well, you told me like 10 times a day or
10
something.
times a day. Every hour, I would check to see if a new house was listed.
Because you had mentioned to me like kind of the first phone call a lot of times gets it. First to market
Yep,
sort
the
of
first
thing.
one
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Yeah.
Speed of lead.
Yep, that's so true. And so we have the Zillow is where you can go to get leads from. Okay. Just look for busted up houses. Also, driving for dollars. This is where you just drive around your local neighborhood, and those are great because guess what? Nobody else can see those houses except for you.
Yeah,
they're not on the market. Unless I'm in your neighborhood trying to assign a contracts, I'm not going to see that, and I'm not even going to care about it.
Yep.
We buy ugly houses. I used to laugh at that sign, like, who is dumb enough to buy an ugly house? Take out a mortgage and buy an ugly house? Like, because I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
So that's another way is to go around your local neighborhoods and just look for busted up houses. You can find the owners. If you don't know how to do that, again, you can contact me or something. I can show you. It's very simple how to do it.
Sure.
It's very easy. TruePeopleSearch.com. That's a free nugget. Try that. But then there's also, again, if you want to do what I do, make an impact, the court system, build bridges with attorneys. There's so many different ways that you can go about doing it. The easiest way is probably just walking up the street or looking on Zillow.
Well, it's like you said, you're building a team of people that will help you in the process. And I think that's huge because we do the same thing. Rather than inspectors and attorneys, for you, it's more attorneys and people that are going to help you through the process with the foreclosure process or so forth.
Yep.
Wow. Really not actually too complicated, just very foreign to the real estate experience that I've had personally.
Yeah.
And, I typically would see a house like that on MLS, like,
it's going to be a nightmare.
I don't see the opportunity.
Yep.
I see how horrible it looks and how the bushes have grown up over the porch and everything. And you're seeing it with completely different lenses.
Absolutely.
Which is funny. I can see that big grin on your face. You're like,
man.
oh my gosh, the taller the bushes, the lower the cost.
I love it, man.
Well, so quick question, kind of as we wrap up this section. We've had huge jumps in interest rates the last 12, 14 months. How has that affected you? Like positively, negatively, not affected you at all? Like what is that?
I was saying anything that affects sellers affects me in one way or another. So when interest rates go up, somebody who has a terrible looking house is going to be like, wow, well, they already were maybe not that interested in buying my house or taking a chance on my house. Now that the interest rates are going up, it's going to cost them more to take a chance on my house. I got to do something non-conventional. And that's where in a situation like ours with the deal we worked, where it was, the market really affected her decision to be willing to work with somebody.
Gotcha.
It's not going to require her to cut the bushes, require her to clean out the
right.
sheds, and get rid of the dead cats.
Yeah.
I mean, we just take it the way it is,
Yep.
and we get rid of it.
So it sounds like that really it gives you more opportunity
Yes.
as you see the market not only stabilize, but in some areas we've seen declines.
It can.
Now, thankfully, our current location, Central North Carolina, we've not had crashes. I mean, it's been a great foundation of the business, the home values staying relatively solid. However, really cool to be able to say, okay, the market's suffering, but it's given you additional opportunity.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I mean, and especially on the other side of my business with making an impact, you know, when interest rates go up and the fear of the market collapsing, my business just does it even better.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's, you
You
know,
thrive when it's bad.
yeah, I absolutely thrive. Now, again, it doesn't mean I'm going to make more. I will make more money, but it means my workload's going to go up
Yep.
because I'm going to be making more of an impact.
Yep.
Yep.
Because I'm going to have more people going through foreclosure. It's the reality of it, and they're going to need help.
Yeah.
And that's where we're coming in.
Yeah. Wow. Seems like it's a pretty cool time in the market for you to have gotten into this industry. Actually, it's like the Lord's just led you where He's led you.
Yeah, definitely. You
At a good
orchestrated
time.
it.
So, yeah. Do you have any other questions? Are you about ready to?
Yeah, I mean, one last one. We talk about finance and stuff. You guys are typically not doing loans. So what are the options? Like where does that come from? How do people are buying these houses? Because, I mean, most of the houses you're doing, you can't finance. So what is the kind of...
So the good thing is it's mainly cash. So the end buyer, whether that's you or somebody else, they're coming in with cash, or they can do a conventional. So we do have a property that it's in Wilmington, and he went with private owner.
So not a conventional
Yes,
mortgage.
not conventional. Yes, I'm so sorry about
You
that.
know what, like private money.
Thank you.
Or
Yes.
hard money.
Hard
would be
money
another-
lenders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yep. So if they don't bring their own cash to the table, they can do hard money lenders who also see the benefit because they're willing to give you because they don't base it off of the current condition. They base it off of
The potential.
The potential.
Yes.
Yeah. And now you got to pay them a decent down payment, sometimes 10, 20%, but they're willing to invest with you if the potential's there.
Okay.
So that's another option.
Okay.
So private money, I mean, I'm just not familiar with that at all. It's like, hey, private money investors on Google, like is that all kind of a network? Like you get into it and you meet a guy who knows a guy who knows a guy, sort of thing.
Yeah. I think the best way of doing it is maybe going to a local RIA, connecting with real estate agents like yourselves, because you guys already have a huge network, you know, and I don't know how real estate agents work, but I know you guys, there are other people in your firm, something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody knows somebody.
Sure.
So that's one way of being able to get plugged in with these investors. Another way of doing it, go on YouTube and look up podcasts, real estate podcasts. Biggerpockets.com is really, really
Bigger
huge.
Pockets is huge. That's a great one.
And they've got a resource on there that will help you find local investors in your area. And so they're definitely out there. And if you go to Google and type in, cash buyer near me or private money lender near me, it'll come up. You'll have sponsored people just like you will anything else. And then you'll have a list of local people who you can work with.
Which you'd have to vet for integrity and all of that.
You would. You'd be better off just going through somebody
Yeah.
because, these guys are, they're serious about it. And if you're just getting into it, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend if you're in your first month of trying to go, get a private money lender in order to fund a deal to close it, hold it, and then turn around and sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Typically, just stick with assignments and double close it.
Gotcha. So that allows you to get your feet wet without having to have a ton of capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And most of the people you're going to be targeting will be definitely not FHA loans
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, in our industry, we have certain loans that we can't do, and that's because somebody had a broken front railing on their steps or something like that. So, yeah, the condition of the homes that you're working with, is there's no way that you're going to get mortgages on those.
No chance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's all I had for this episode. I'm really glad you clarified the process there. Helps me understand a little bit better. And as we've gotten you into the studio, I've just gotten a broader view of that aspect of real estate. It does make sense. You need to find somebody who's high integrity.
That's right.
Because
Absolutely.
it sounds like the incentives really are set up to where it can be very easy that you get in working with a wholesale relationship and they're pushing you, manipulating you, all of that. So
Absolutely.
I'm really thankful to to know you and to be able to partner with you.
Thank you guys. Seriously, and
Yep.
like I said, I'm
Yep.
just a freshman, and you guys know more than anybody. Anytime I just reach out. That's the best thing you can do. If you're starting, this is your first year, you want to wholesale your way to success, whether that's 10,000, 100,000, $500,000. Be willing to put in the work, maintain your integrity along the way, learn as much as you can, but more importantly, get to work. You got to start putting action behind every step, and that's when you're going to see the most progress.
It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. We will have, of course, the other two that we've done today. So keep an eye out for those. And if you can subscribe to our channel, go ahead and hit the little bell icon so you get notifications, and share this video with somebody who may be interested. We'll see you guys in the next video.